Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and Argentina has gone through dozens of inflationary and hyperinflationary events throughout the last century. It's as though people don't learn from the consequences of vast centralization. What we've seen in the Weimar Republic, Zimbabwe, Croatia, and most recently Venezuela comes down to one simple fact. If you enforce legal tender laws and create unlimited amounts of IOU notes, you're going to have a bad time. Argentina is about to figure that out once again as the currency just fell more than 5% following the resignation of Luis Caputo, head of Argentina's central bank. He will be replaced by economist Guido Sandleris, as if that matters whatsoever. As this Zero Hedge article says, Argentina Peso plunges after central bank head unexpectedly resigns. And as the article goes into, one day after it emerged that the IMF's record $50 billion bailout of Argentina is just not big enough, and the country will need an additional $3 to $5 billion in additional rescue funds, news which sent the Argentine Peso tumbling moments ago, the country's economic problems took another turn for the worse when Argentine central bank president Luis Caputo resigned on Tuesday morning, just 3 months after taking office, as the country slides ever deeper in an economic crisis, coupled with the collapse of its currency, which lost half of its value this year. As part of the emergency actions meant to stabilize the economy, Caputo pushed the benchmark interest rate up to 60% despite forecasts of recession, and sold international reserves in a bid to stabilize the currency despite the IMF's warnings against. He also planned to eliminate a chunk of short-term central bank debt that had been contributing to volatility. Caputo, a former Citigroup and Deutsche Bank trader who was Argentina's former finance minister under Macri, spent the majority of his time at the banks trying to stabilize the peso, which has plunged 50% in 2018, the most in emerging markets. As the FT notes, his appointment at the time prompted some critics to question the government's commitment to strengthening the central bank's independence. As for the resignation, it couldn't have come at a worse time and follows one day after reports that Argentina was seeking even more bailout funds, suggesting that the country's stabilization process is not going quite as expected. To be sure, there were hints that his days were numbered because, as Bloomberg's Seb Boyd writes, there were reports that he had disagreements with Finance Minister Nicholas Dujovny, and he didn't travel to Washington with the official delegation earlier this month. However, Caputo disputed any professional reasons behind his decision, and the now former central banker said the decision was due to personal issues, according to Bloomberg. This resignation is due to personal issues, with the conviction that the new deal with the International Monetary Fund will re-establish confidence in the fiscal, financial, monetary, and exchange regimes. However, judging by the market's response, that is hardly the case, as the Argentine peso has tumbled more than 3%, later updated to 5%, to start the day as traders ask if a career financier can't handle the pressure of stabilizing the economy, is there anyone who can? Now, breaking away from the article, there's quite a bit to digest there. So, first of all, Caputo was a former Citigroup and Deutsche Bank trader, which speaks volumes. Secondly, he was Argentina's finance minister under Macri. Once again, that speaks volumes. He spent the majority of his time attempting to stabilize the peso, which plunged 50% in 2018. Now, what if I told you, Mr. Caputo, that the attempt to stabilize the currency was making it worse? All fiat currencies throughout history have reverted to zero, and historically, centralizing and propping it up more just leads to larger crashes down the line. You don't need to be a financial genius to figure that one out. Then again, I really doubt these systems are meant to last, but we won't get too deep into conspiracy today. Now, something else that really stands out is the recent loans from the IMF. We've seen this enough times before to know where it's heading. The IMF is buying up countries left and right by lending them money they cannot possibly pay back in order to claim ownership over them. It's a plot by the United Nations, a global takeover. Money is power, my friends, and if you control the wealth of the world, you control the world. Not only is it fraudulent, but it's also incredibly coercive to the populace. Under the social contract that all these people apparently magically signed as babies, signing their rights away to the state, these same people are now indebted with the debt of morons and monsters. We've been warning about Argentina here at WHAM for years. We covered it when Argentina's president was charged for manipulating their currency. We talked about the skyrocketing interest rates. We have talked about their constant rebranding of the peso using the same name but a different currency, as they constantly see economic crises at least once a decade. We as individuals cannot allow this to continue. We have fallen victim far too many times as governments live in their palaces, indebting those drinking out of gutters. As fiat currencies are printed into temporary prosperity and long-term oblivion. As we are forced under these legal tender systems, not allowing the individual demand of the currencies competing on the market take hold. Instead, we have central bankers and government mapping out our poverty. There are solutions, however, and we are seeing them become extremely handy in places like Venezuela, where cryptocurrency Dash is being utilized by countless people and businesses. First things first, food, water, shelter, self-defense, so you're not gathering things for the toughest guy on the block, and of course, gold and silver as wealth insurance. This isn't investment advice again, but this is my opinion. But of course, gold and silver aren't even an investment. They're wealth insurance, a way to historically protect purchasing power. Then there is decentralized blockchain technology. Not the crazy centralized garbage utilized by, the Chinese government, the Indian government, or the attempt to create a global digital cashless society using the SDR at the IMF. No, we are talking about decentralized cryptocurrencies, decentralized blockchain infrastructure, freedom in the markets, competing currencies, the ability to break free from the banking system and government. But of course, that all comes down to due diligence. There are a lot of terrible cryptocurrencies and blockchain projects out there, but there are quite a few good ones, some great ones too. It takes research. Education begets action. Action ends apathy. Responsibility begets freedom, and vice versa. You can decentralize your lives and break free from this paradigm. You can protect your family and help your friends. You can rise above this madness. Fiat currencies have been failing every single time since their inception nearly 1,000 years ago in 1024 AD in China. It won't be any different this time. The difference is that it'll affect more people at a more extreme rate in this day and age. But in this day and age, we have solutions, and your only excuse is your excuse itself. Excuses beget apathy and purgatory. Don't perpetuate your problems. Win. Rise above. Free your mind. Free your wallet. Free the world. Rule yourself. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will continue to cover this issue closely as we have for so long. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth. Be the change. Like what you see here, OM? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so overwhelmingly demonetized by YouTube as they bring in the ADL to flag all of our content as hate speech. Also check our Bitcoin address in the description as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And also check us out at Steemit at Josh Sigurdson, the future of social media, where you get paid in the upvote of your post in cryptocurrency, Steem that is. So don't forget forget to check us out there and find us at Acapulco 2019. I know it's early, but this is such an exciting event coming up with Ron Paul, Judge Napolitano, David Icke, Larkin Rose, Jeff Berwick, all the usual characters, and it's going to be amazing. So we hope to see you there. Make sure to check the link for Acapulco below and use promo code WHAM to save as much as 15% on your tickets. We hope to see you there. But until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.